Welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast, brought to you by JSL Solutions. The Church Solutions Podcast is designed to help equip you and your church in the use of technology and other tools and services. And now, here are your hosts, Steve Lacy and Phil Thompson.
And as the man said, welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast. My name is Phil Thompson.
And I'm Steve Lacy.
So we do this little podcast just about every week. Steve and I do. We are with a company called JSL Solutions. We are a tech company that does StreamingChurch.tv, which is streaming video, mobile apps, which is churchapplive.com. We do church management systems and websites, myflock.com, and we also do live website greeting, whatever it's called.
Greeter.church.
Greeter.church is what it's called, but it's actually have a live greeter on your website. If you need more information, go to greeter.church. All right, so we're going to talk today about using some online tools and technology to help grow your church. We talked last week about growing your church in the summertime. But we're going to talk a little bit about a little bit of a different switch to it, and that would be how you can use, I guess you would say, what would you call it, a business system?
Since I've been running an online business for a long time, and there's certain characteristics. These are online business principles, applying those to your ministry to grow your church.
All right, so you could actually grow your church online using some of these business principles.
You can, yes, you can grow your church, whether it's online, period, right?
Yeah.
By using some proven, established practices that online businesses use to grow their businesses.
So specifically today, we're going. I mean, everybody. I would assume everybody listening to this podcast that does church work, your church has a website, has some kind of an online presence. But and some of these things we're going to talk about here in the next few minutes, you can certainly apply to that. We're going to talk specifically, though, about if you do streaming video, how you could use streaming video to actually grow your physical church.
Right.
When I mean physical, I mean get people that actually watch online in the door of your church and get connected to people.
Yeah. So the thought process is that your online live streaming platform is your online business.
Okay.
And if you treat it as such, there's some basic principles that probably most churches are not applying to grow that ministry.
Okay.
So
and again,
we're going to walk through kind of those basic steps.
So one of the things that's in business is called a funnel, and we're going to call it ministry funnel. So the idea is you want to attract people to this streaming video platform.
Right. So if we were to apply it, if I have my online business, one of the first things I'm going to do is track how many visitors do I get to my website. Mm-hmm. And let's say I get, if I'm fortunate and I've got a fairly decent business, I get 1,000 visitors to my website every month. Okay. Now, I'm going to build in some things that are going to lead to a percentage of those 1,000 people becoming actual customers of mine.
Okay.
So I may have things like a free trial, or sign up for my newsletter, or receive my ebook, or whatever it may be, so that I can begin to connect and start to form a relationship with some of these people.
Okay, that's from a business perspective, and you've been doing this for over 15 years.
Right. So the funnel is going to start at the top is how many people are viewing my site.
Right.
A certain percentage are going to take a certain action.
Right.
A smaller percentage of that set of people are going to take another action.
Right.
And then all the way from a business standpoint, I've got my paid customer down at the bottom, and it may be for every 1,000 visitors I get to my website, I may have one paid customer that falls out the other end.
Okay. So now from a church perspective, from a pastoral perspective, which I can speak to because that's what I've done for many years, is you want to grow your church. So the idea is that you want to reach and you want to get some new families coming in the door and get those people that are watching online and get them actually in the door of your physical church.
Yes.
And hopefully something good will happen in their life. They'll like the experience when they're there. They'll connect with God. They'll connect with other people. They will grow spiritually, and they will help the church. Not just financially, but they would give, but they would also serve, and they would hopefully have a positive impact on their community.
Become a Christian and become a follower of Jesus.
Exactly.
So.
Their life would change. and they would change other people's lives.
Right.
So the bottom line is, what we're talking about today here for a few minutes here is okay. We want to get people. I'm doing streaming video. I've got 20 people watching my streaming video a week, or maybe 30. Okay, I want to increase that, and I want to reach people locally, because you're doing streaming video, you could potentially reach people all over the world. I mean, and we've seen that in our own churches as well as other customers, because we do streaming video. Our company does streaming video. So I've got 25, 30 people watching but I want to get people from my community to watch. How do I do that?
So there's a few ways to do that. You basically want to, the obvious way is to create some advertising. And so we've been experimenting with an approach that advertises the live service only, and it's only advertised while the live service is underway.
Oh, how do you do that?
So there's the vehicle we have chosen is through Facebook ads. So there's going to be a set of people in your hometown that don't go to your church that are going to be on Facebook Sunday morning or Saturday, whenever you do your services. And we want to reach those people and draw them into your live service.
All right. So I'm playing dumb here, but I've been a part of this. So the idea is you're going to run an ad, a Facebook ad, for maybe a couple hours during Sunday morning, during the time the service would be, or right around that approximate time. You want a Facebook ad, and the nice thing about Facebook is, and there's only about 1 billion people on Facebook, all right? But I'm being sarcastic, but there's chances are there's a lot of people in your community on Facebook. So you want Facebook has tools that you can use to target your demographics.
Right.
So you can target, if you want to set an age group of 25 to 65, you can do that. You can target men, women. You can target both. You can target certain categories of these. You can even target certain areas of your community.
Right.
Certain little suburbs.
And interest and all kinds of things, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, like Tucson's really spread out geographically, over 1 million people here, and the ad we ran, we did a little beta testing here for a few weeks, and we ran an ad for a church here in town, and we targeted right around where that church was at. It was, we didn't target everything, but we targeted around that area. So you can really whittle things down and get specific, and then you can create an ad that has, you can put together some nice images, a link.
Right, and one of the unique things about running an ad that only runs while the service is live is you can target an ad that advertises the live service underway. So our theme was, Miss Church, it's not too late. Click here and you can attend church online.
Yeah. And they would click to it and it would go right into the streaming platform,
right,
where the video was and where the chat was. So people could go right into it. They could see and hear the music, or the speaker, whoever's speaking, and you're hoping that enough people come in there and that it's a good experience for them, and hopefully that chat host or that web host is doing his or her job and interacting and connecting with people.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to, getting back to our ministry funnel, there's going to be a certain number of people you're going to reach on Facebook. There's going to be a smaller percentage that are actually going to click. And then there's going to be a smaller percentage that are going to go beyond the looky-loo as, I got here, it's 30 seconds later, I'm out.
Right.
So you're going to get those that attend for a little while, and then you want to narrow that down to get to the point where you're gathering contact information for those that are interested. And the whole thought process here is that you've got this wide funnel that ends with someone walking through your physical door at your church, and where you continue your follow-up process, and a certain percentage of those people are going to become members of your church.
Right. So in the ad, we actually ran did 3 weekends.
Yes.
And the ad ran for a couple hours each Sunday morning. And the first one, I think the reach, Facebook calls it reach, was like almost 13,000 people. And then there was like almost 300 clicks on the ad, like 287.
Which was really surprising. So when we got into this, we weren't sure whether, since the ad's only running for a couple hours, and normally ads on Facebook will run for weeks and months at a time, and this is only going to run for a couple hours, so we weren't sure whether it would get served up enough or what what was going on. But we were pleasantly surprised. You said 13,000 was the reach,
Almost,
so
yeah.
that it was appeared on 13,000 desktops, and we had almost 300 people click on the link.
And the cost per click ended up being, 34 cents.
34 cents per click.
Yeah. And I'm sure some people listening are going, okay, well, how much money did you spend on this deal? So we spent $100.
Yeah, we set a budget, and you can set a budget within Facebook.
Right.
And we just ran, somewhat, we weren't sure what was going to happen here. We set a $100 budget, and the first weekend we spent all of that budget.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it took 20 minutes or,
we don't know that.
3 hours
right.
to get those clicks, but we were very pleasantly surprised to see the number of people that did click on it and did drop in on the service.
So you could do this on other platforms, but Facebook has some pretty good analytics and gives you the ability to really target your ad. And so this church, and we experimented with different things, and so this isn't really a great test, but this church had over a 50% increase over 3 weekends.
Right.
People watching online.
Yes.
So there's definitely some, and you can do some more whittling down.
And it's been, I wasn't able to get the numbers, but I'm sure exactly what they are, but they're a large percentage of those that do become members or become, attend the church, attended online first.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is in the ministry funnel there, but a lot of people start out online.
Well, and then the other thing about they can also see they could actually even see the video if you actually run the video on Facebook, which we actually have that option with our company. You can stream on your platform, but you can also stream directly to Facebook now with our company. They can. There was also a number of people I think that watched that archive for a brief time. But anyhow, that's a whole other subject. So, so again, the big picture here is, even if you only got 1 or 2 new families a month that eventually got in the door,
right?
They watched online. Lots and lots of people came online. The whole thing got whittled down. If you had 1 or 2 families a month, that's 24 families a year.
Yes.
That's a huge jump.
Yes, that is. Yes.
I mean, I'm real big on church growth, but I'm also very big on one family at a time or one person at a time. That's how you build a church, in my opinion. It's how you grow a church. So you have a lot of people, but then you turn. I think we used to have this saying: we turned attenders into members. So the idea is you want them to come, but you also want them, as we said at the very beginning of this, we want them to actually get assimilated into the church and actually make it their church.
Right.
Get connected with people, their life changes, and they change other people's lives eventually too.
So, and I think we mentioned this earlier, but you want to make sure that it's a rich experience for them when they do click on that link.
Right. And so, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, when people come, you want to make sure that things are going well, and that especially the person in charge of the web host of the chat, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes, is doing their job, interacting with people,
right,
and giving them an opportunity to connect in a lot of different ways. So as we talk about this, we've whittled down the demographics. You can actually do this with Facebook. Tell me a little bit about then the budget. So we're talking in the plan that in the little beta test that we did, and we got some really good results. We spent how much money for just one little block of about 2 hours, right?
Right. So we initially set up a budget of $100 for that block, and I was actually thinking, as I mentioned earlier, that we might not spend any of that. But the first week we had a fairly wide open aperture, and Facebook lets you choose what platforms you're going to advertise on, whether it's mobile or their affiliate apps or the desktop or where on the desktop you can advertise. So we had it fairly wide open, and I think we spent the $100 the first week inside of 2 hours, and got I don't have the numbers in front of me, but almost 300 clicks, I think. Yeah,
I'm actually looking at it here. I'm trying to find it here, and I don't have I have my glasses, but it's hard to read. We probably did have close to that. There was a lot of clicks. It was a lot of clicks. 295 website clicks
Yes. So we had, so that was 295 people that were drawn into
this
our live
particular
source.
specific church. We advertised. They got 295 clicks to their streaming platform. And the actual ad, and this is the way Facebook works, so 12,932 people, this ad kind of went out.
Reached.
It's what they call the reach.
Right. So that would be the very, I talk about this ministry funnel, that would be the very top. We were exposed to 13,000 people, 295 took action. Some of them stuck around for 1 minute, and some of them stuck around for the whole service.
Right.
And it
was 34 cents a click is what the cost per click was.
Yes, it was fairly low for that very first week.
Yeah.
So it was a great experiment. Turned out to work fairly well. Right. We did pieces of it that we didn't do too well. After that, we drove people to the service, but we didn't capture information very well. And so we don't know exactly out of those 295 how many are still came back again, or that are going to that eventually shown up at church. Right. But for $100, over a weekend, if we got one or two people that became members, and purely on just financial terms, I was actually working with one of the guys that is on staff at the church that we were working with, and they mentioned just. The souls are priceless, but an average member to the church contributes, I think it was $4,900 a year. So that, it could be, you could have not only an ROI on souls, but you could also have an ROI on your investment as well. Yeah. You spend $100, if you get one member out of that ends up, becoming a member and begins to give and then tithe, then it definitely can pay for itself just purely from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course the eternal perspective of, somebody's life potentially changed and their family life changed by coming and connecting with God, connecting with other people and their family members. I mean, there's definitely something there that you could see the long-term effects on the deal, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of a brief little, I don't know how brief it was, 15 minutes or whatever, but it was talking about, how you can get more people to watch your service.
Right. And there's other avenues. We felt like Facebook, I consider it more of an impulse kind of thing when people click on ads, because they weren't getting on Facebook to go to church that morning, but they saw, as they were on Facebook, they saw an ad that, hey, you missed church? Oh, yeah, I was thinking about going to church, or I've been looking for a church. I'll click on this one and check it out.
Yeah, and the actual ad itself, Facebook gives you an opportunity. I think they call it like a carousel deal where you can put 2 or 3 images or more,
right?
And it pops up. And so the images we chose were, people looking at their computer, smiling. One was a male, one was a female. We also used an image of their actual senior pastor speaking in front of a deal. So, you want to make the ad appealing.
Right. And so Facebook's one avenue. There's, you can pursue other avenues. If you're someone that operates an online business, you'll be very familiar with all the more popular avenues to drive people. Right. But our niche that we were focusing on was real time, meaning it only shows up when the service is live. Right. And so you could do a similar thing with Google AdWords.
Mm-hmm. Twitter. You could do Twitter.
Or you could, Twitter. Some of these things, Twitter would be a free thing, but these are some of the things you want to do as well.
But you can buy ads on Twitter.
You can buy ads with Twitter. Yes,
Instagram too.
Yes. So
lots of different things out there. So let's talk for a little bit about, and this would apply to people. Let's say you're listening to this podcast. You go, I don't really want to. Not sure I want to advertise yet, but let's talk a little bit about, so you got people coming to your live streaming service. How do you connect with these people? How do you get them to maybe take the next step, so to speak, so that they're not just a number out there, but they actually connect with.
Yeah, and this is where we encourage that once they have clicked on the link, that they're going to enter a rich experience. And by rich experience, some of the things that we advocate are make sure that someone's there to greet them. Someone knows that they did show up. Kind of the same things you have if they were walking through the door. Greet them, make them feel comfortable. I'll provide the opportunity for them to connect with others that are attending, so through chat or other means through the online platform. So the other piece of that is you want to get people warmed up, and you also want to, putting on my online business hat, I want to offer something of value beyond the service in exchange for the privilege of following up with them later, mainly capturing their contact information.
Right.
So it's really important that you train your hosts and those attending to provide an incentive. Maybe, a lot of churches will give away a free gift for the first-timers. So you just make that free gift aware to those first-timers that are coming online. If it's a gift that you can easily send off electronically, like a gift card or something like that, that would be even better. So you basically would say, hey, we see you're a first-timer here, and we've actually updated some of our reports on our platform that will highlight who the first-timers are. And
you mean so people that do streaming video with us?
Yes, there's an admin area, and they can go in and they can see, this is Joe's first time attending here, and you can see how long they came, and you want to train your web host to offer an incentive to fill out at our church we call it a connection card or whatever it may be. Fill out the card, and we will send you a free gift, and the free gift is really nice. And so you want to offer that so that in exchange for their contact information.
Yeah, and I think it's important too. I mean, obviously we're talking about online here, not people walking in the door.
Right.
So you want to give them something. I don't know if I want to use the word instant gratification, but you want them, if you say, hey, if you sign up for our newsletter, people might do that, people might not. But if they sign up and you give them a coupon, electronic coupon to like a local coffee shop.
Yeah, that would be
a local restaurant, maybe.
Very generous, very nice, yes.
Something like that.
For online businesses, they got people interested in, they'll say, download our free ebook if you sign up online.
And there are some pastors that have ebooks, especially if it's a topic that's really an attention-grabbing topic. It's really to your needs, and it might be having to do with marriage, might be how to raise a teenager, something that's going to grab your attention that you really have a desire to, you want to get some information, on this. If you have something that's a PDF.
So and so this is kind of following our outline. This is the second step. The first step is draw people to your service, and the second step is provide an incentive for them to provide their contact information. Yeah.
But I think we can't overstate the fact that you really need to have a chat host or web host, whatever you want to call them, church online pastor. You've got to have somebody that is on that platform. Maybe you don't see them on video, but they're on there typing away, and they're welcoming people.
Right.
They're maybe asking questions.
And it's obvious that they're part of the church.
You want. And our company, we provide an identification process so that people know.
In the chat room,
Gene is the web host or whatever. But so you want to have somebody that's engaging people. And even, I don't know how many people out there listening are, I'm assuming interested in or familiar with small groups or Bible studies. You've got to have a host that's able to engage people, ask the right questions so that you will get some response. And you can do that online too. You can type in a question or whatever that's engaging, and somebody will answer it.
Right.
So you want to get connection there. We can't overstate that. And then hopefully then you want to give them an offer through some kind of a platform that they can click on to put their information in.
Right. Share their contact information.
And get a gift.
Right. So So the second step is provide incentive for them to give their information. And the third step is you actually follow up with the information that they provided by actually, number one, sending the gift you promised.
Right.
And then putting them on your list and into your system for a regular follow-up. And I'll have the stats in front of me, but there's some documented stats that talk about how quickly you follow up with people once they provide their contact information, the more effective it is, meaning they will come back again. So there's I think it's a 36-hour window that if you follow up in the 36 hours, they will 85% will respond with follow-up attendance or come back or that sort of thing. So, and the longer you take on your response, then the less effective that follow-up becomes.
Yeah, interesting. And again, the big picture, I want to repeat the big picture here. The big picture is we're talking attracting people locally. You can, if you're streaming video, obviously you got people all over the world potentially watching. But in this specific case, we're talking about attracting local people who are close enough to your church who could possibly come in the door. Mm-hmm. So you're reaching people to this streaming video platform. You're making connections, and then maybe inviting them to come. They show up at your doorstep at the church's door, and they hopefully will get connected, and their life will change, and your church will grow, and good things will happen in the community as well as their personal lives. That's the idea behind what we're doing here.
Right.
So there's a lot more to this that we probably will talk about maybe next week, but we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You think we're out to lunch on this thing? You think it's not something that should be done? Or you have some suggestions that maybe to enhance what we're talking about here? We'd love to hear from you. Just send us an email, support@StreamingChurch.tv. You can hear this podcast on iTunes. Just look for Church Solutions Podcast. We're on, what else are we on? We're on some other platform, aren't we? Is it called Stitcher or something? Stitcher Radio?
Stitcher. We're on every favorite podcast player system. Just look for Church Solutions Podcast and we will show up.
We have it on YouTube, but just the audio.
Yes.
But we're on YouTube as well, and you can always go to newmediaministries.tv. newmediaministries.tv, and all over the place. All right, so we'll continue this later. We're out of time, but we hope that you're doing well. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us today. His name is Steve Lacy, and my name is Phil Thompson, and this has been the Church Solutions Podcast. We will catch you next time. Take care.